some people are unforgettable. They'll reply you after hours and still all you wanna do is talk to them. Even if it's just for 5 minutes. How they enter a room and suddenly all the attention is on them. How they make every person they talk to emotionally attached without even trying much. I'm gonna spill the secrets today because hello everyone, I'm Violet, your friend, your host, your little sister, your advisor, your therapist, another YouTuber, whatever you take me for. So let's just dive into this video. Welcome to the dark side of psychology. In the previous video, I talked about how I always get men without even trying just by detaching from them. So in this video, I'm gonna spill my secrets that I used to keep them hooked to me and they keep coming back again and again. Because no matter what, men always come back. Disclaimer, it's not some hardcore manipulation. It's simple psychology. Though people, especially men, always say that
Yoshi, you are a master manipulator.
also, these tricks not only apply to your relationships, your situationships, your casual, etc., etc., you can also use them in other aspects of your life too. For example, while talking to a professor you want to impress, your boss, your colleagues, your peers, or any other place you want to be remembered. Some of these apply to only online interactions. Most of them I have used for men, but I will explain to you how you can also apply them to in other aspects of it. So, let's just dive into this video, my loves. First, push and pull. This is the most talked about and hated trick on the dark psychology side. Here, all you do is keep pushing and pulling to give them that dopamine to chase and they become addicted to you. For example, when they text you, hey, what are you doing? Don't reply instantly, rather be intentional. Reply after 10 minutes and then disappear for 1 hour. They'll keep waiting for you. But if they're sharing something important or they want to share their feelings, they are being emotional, they just want to share, have someone to vent out, don't disappear. Don't disappear when someone is trying to be vulnerable, is trying to be open up to you. Only become one, only be intentional and keep pushing and pulling. When you know they're just being casual, you're not looking for anything serious, you are on a talking stage, they are on a talking stage. It's all chill. But when they are sharing their aspects of life, don't do that. Keep them that leverage and give them that, yes, you have someone you can talk to. But again, as I said, if they just wanna have a casual conversation because they are getting bored, don't reply instantly. Don't give them that satisfaction that you are always available for them, you're always free from them. Girl, go get a hobby. Now, how to apply it on the other aspects of life? If you are on the upper hand, if you are someone who's offering anyone something, then make them wait a bit. Don't give it instantly. Tell them that yes, I'm gonna think about it. Let them be anxious. Let them wait. And if you are someone who's being offered something, don't take it instantly. Tell them, hey, I need time to think about it. Hey, I need to check my schedule. When you take reasonable amount to reply, it gives the other person hint that okay, this person is not settling for breadcrumbs. This person is actually busy. This person looks for options. This person chooses what's best for them, not settling for anything they get. Second, remember name and address them with their names. People love to hear their names. They love to be acknowledged because it's basically their whole identity. When you are in crowds, you're trying to network or you're trying to be a part of a bigger crowd, always try to remember everybody's name and address them with that name. Instead of just saying sir and ma'am, first take their name and then address with their designation. For example, Violet ma'am, Apple sir, hey Brady sir, hey Karen ma'am. People love to be acknowledged. When you take their name, their body, their brain, mind becomes active. Like, oh, that's my name. I have to respond. This way, they will listen to you more attentively and they will remember you. Just imagine there is a crowd and so many people are there to say, hey girl, hey boy, hey ma'am, hey sir. But you are the one who says them with that name. Like, hey Karen, friend, hey ma'am, hey Karen, ma'am. They will remember you. Now, what role does it play in dating? When you are texting each other, instead of saying, hey boy, what you doing? Hey, what you doing? take their name like, hey Brad, what are you doing? You notice the difference, you notice the tone. People become active when their name is taken. Instead of just saying, hey, listen, take their name. Shoshi, listen, Violet, listen, Brad, listen. You see, taking name is very important. I think this is the simplest trick that people should use. The big people, businessman, the entrepreneur, the authors, and everyone, they know the trick. Or they all, if you take any conversation class or you say like public speaking class, they'll always tell you to remember names. Attach that someone's name with some identity, like if that person is fat, like oh, potato, something, anything like that. And I'm not body shaming, man, okay? Anything you just need to have a more like something to remember, but you have to remember names if you want to be remembered by people. Third, share little details of your life with them. This way, they will feel obligated to share their own. Don't trauma dump on them. Don't be like you have just talked for 2 days and you're sharing. I had a very bad childhood. My father used to do that. I have mom issues. I have dad issues. My teacher used to beat me. No. This will either scare them off or they'll pity you, and both are worse. Little details. Go slow. Don't trauma dump on them. For example, the little details I share about myself is like, oh yeah, I love to read books. I'm a cat person and she's meowing a lot. I'm a cat person. I love to create. I am a single daughter in my whole paternal family. So I have like 5 brothers. I'm loved and blah blah blah. This way people feel obligated. Well, it's a nature, okay? Not everybody likes to receive only. They also like to give. When you give and give and give, the other person feels responsible. They feel like, oh shit, that person has given me so much. Now I gotta give something in return. And that's the exchange of information. You share this much, they'll end up sharing this much. You be silent. You have shared a little bit, then be silent. And they will feel uncomfortable in that silence and they'll fill the details of the life. People don't like silence. Again, the most confident beings, they are not afraid of silence. They're not afraid of the conversation when it's dying. If you're so insecure, if someone is like, I don't know what to do, I don't know, they're very underconfident, insecure, they're anxious, they'll try to fill that silence. I do that. I do a lot that like I used to do that a lot. I am like controlling this habit of mine. If either it's a family gathering or if we all friends are together and suddenly it's like the conversation is dying, I won't fill it with any bloody thing. Like I have to tell something because I don't like silence that much. So yeah, learn that way because if you will be silent, the other person will definitely say something to fill the conversation, to fill up the silence, and that's what you need. The world is all about informations. The strongest persons are not the one with the muscles, but the one with the secrets, not just of themselves, but of others too. Fourth, learn their insecurities. People often talk about their insecurity in some way or other. They either joke about it, directly point it out, ask for validation, or simply compliment themselves. Once you understand what they're insecure about, the only thing you have to do is compliment them and validate them. This way, they'll become emotionally addicted to you and keep coming back to you to just feel good about themselves. But honey, use it with caution. If someone would get too emotionally attached to you, they will not be able to let go of you even if you try too much, even if you don't want them more in your life. And I can actually share two personal anecdotes of this about this. First one, always about him. So first one is about my officially ex-boyfriend now. He became the last time we were together, like 2 years back something. I used to validate him and like he became too emotionally independent on me. So he couldn't let go of me and he himself accepted that like yes, I'm too emotional independent on you. I cannot let go of you. I need you in my life. I cannot breathe and stuff. But so this time when we got together, we was like, okay, let's give it a chance this time. We are mature, we are elder, we know better. It's all bullshit. If something doesn't work, teenager, it will not even work when you are elder. So don't do that. Thank God we didn't get hurt this time. We were mature enough to not get hurt. So this time I didn't even console him. I didn't even give him a shoulder to cry. That's it. I was like, bro, I don't want you to be emotionally attached to me again. He still has the same shit. He still has his same problems. He's not like very changed person or his situation has changed. But this time I was like, handle your own shit. I'm not responsible for anybody's shit, and you are not responsible for anybody's shit. You're not responsible for what happens in their life. You're not responsible to handle their problems. You're not responsible for their worries. I used to be someone who would take up other people's worries, even if it's anyone, and especially his. I was also attached. Okay, like I am an empath, and I really absorb energies. If he's depressed, I would be end up being depressed and sad. Like he's sad, I'm also sad. I was that kind of person, but I'm not. I don't let other people's emotions be heavy on me now. So, don't take people's shit. You don't own that. It's not a responsibility. They are responsible for healing their own traumas, they're responsible for their own shit, and they are responsible for their whatever's happening in their life. You can be there for them, you can be there to vent it out, but this let's grow together, it's bullshit. Because you'll get too dependent on each other. If I was again into that, okay, bro, let's grow old together, not old, I mean, let's grow together, I'll help you heal, you'll help me. No, no, he's not a he's not my therapist, neither you are his therapist, baby girl. No, don't do that. Both of you are responsible for your own shit. Again, I'm telling you, this is a very important thing. I don't know how to explain this to people. That you don't own them, they don't own you. You don't own their problems, they don't own your problems. Your love is not supposed to be your lifesaver. You are your lifesaver. Love is an extra thing. It's not a need in life. It's a want. You should want that person. Not like you need that person to breathe. You need that person to feel validated and blah blah. No. No. Another anecdote is of this casual friend of mine. He's like really insecure about himself. He's like he looks awkward. He doesn't know how to talk to girls in real life. Online he's pretty player. Okay, he knows how to flirt well, but not in real life. That's what he says to me. I've never met him, or neither I think I'll ever meet him. But I don't usually compliment guys, okay? But he really is handsome. He looks so like he looks great. He looks really great. He's like 6 feet 2 inches and something. He like yeah has nice body and everything. So I knew that he's insecure about himself, so I always complimented him, I always made him validated. I compliment him about his insecurity. Like, come on, you're such a great guy, you're handsome and this and that. Though I already cautioned him, like, bro, don't get emotionally out dependent on me, kiddo, don't do that. He was like, no, I'm not. I'm like, okay, you do you, bro. I'm just giving you a caution in the starting only. So I used to validate him, and he always like ended up texting me even when he was in crowd. He was like, "I'm so grateful that you are in my life, that you came and everything like that." Like, okay, okay. So just telling you that all I'm trying to say is learn people's insecurities, and once you know what they're insecure about, compliment them and validate them, and they'll have that urge to talk to you. People want to feel good about themselves. Just okay. I'm talking to you right now, and I'm like, gee, you look so you even see like who do you think you are? No, no one's gonna ever talk to you. No, you don't look pretty. No, no, you're not intelligent enough. No, you cannot do anything in life. Fat ass bitch. Huh? If someone is talking to you like that, you will never want to talk to them again. If someone is pointing out insecurity, like you're so short-heighted. Have you seen your nose? Have you seen your teeth? It's a crook. Like maybe girls see a doctor. Your acne are showing up again. These dark circles. You look like a panda. You ever talk to them again? You will never. You'll avoid them. But if you are someone like now, I'm telling you, girl, you're so pretty. Like you're so photogenic. Wow, like you do have that goddess energy around you. These pretty eyes, like they shine so bright when you smile. I want to smile. Girl, show your teeth, okay? Show until they are there. It's gonna come off anyways in your old age, right? Girl gets so pretty. See, if you compliment someone, they'll be drawn to you. That you exude energy, okay? You your energy is absorbed by everyone. If you are walking around with that negative, dark energy around you, like she's a bitch, she always says bad stuff about people, she doesn't compliment anyone, she's so full of herself, she's blah blah. People will know that as soon as you enter the room, people will know that you are not a good person. But if you go around with that bubbly energy, that cute smile, that eye contact, and maybe a little bit of like shyness, like yes, people will know that and they will be drawn to you. They will know that this person is a happy person. She's happy in herself. That's why she's able to make other people happy. If you're not happy in yourself, you will not be able to make other people happy about them also. Compliment people. You only have one life. You don't know your one single compliment can make someone's whole day. When I receive like compliment, like I'm gonna receive comments like, "Oh girl, you're my motivator. Oh girl, you're so pretty. Oh, you are like so sorted out." You guys don't know that you make my day. You guys make my day. I'm like, I literally have a folder in my albums in my gallery that keep going for them. If I ever feel like I wanna give up on anything, I open your those screenshots of comments like, okay, people are counting on me. So what if there are only 20, 30 people watching, but those people are counting on me. They like me. They want to hear what I'm saying. They love me. And I really love every one of you. That's it for this video. There will surely be gonna be a second part of it. So don't forget to subscribe for more like psychology hacks. I have so many still. I can still have like 4 or 5 more. I wanted to make a little short video about this. So yeah, love you all. It's like so bye.